What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Magna Carta Sports Podcast. Um, Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Make sure you like, subscribe, and continue to follow us wherever you're viewing from. Got a special episode for you all tonight. Special guest, friend of the show, family of the show, our cousin here, Sean, is going to join us, give us his takes on the Vikings' big win over the weekend. But here to talk some football with you guys, man. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Living good, feeling better.
I like it. Rich, everything good with you?
Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Still standing on his Eagles pick. Okay, I feel it. But yeah, the most wonderful time of the year, gentlemen. It's the holidays. I've been in the spirit the last couple of weeks. I'm sure you guys are too. But we had some great sports over the weekend, man. Some great games in the NFL that we're going to cover. Starting off with, that Vikings big comeback win on Saturday. Coming back from 33 down to the Indianapolis Colts. And again, we have our resident Vikings fan joining us today. Sean, you want to give us your takes on the big comeback win?
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, I don't think the Vikings played bad, to begin with. In the first half, we were moving the ball, It's just, stuff you can't really plan for, a block field goal, a stupid interception. I don't blame it on Kirk Cousins is not all that good, but I don't blame it on him either. Like I said, we're moving the ball. It's just that they were getting lucky. They were making plays. Now, second half, I didn't expect us to turn it around like that. Nobody expected that. But we are the Vikings. We're kings for a reason. So I think what happened in the first half. What's his name? Jefferson was getting locked down. Stephon Gilmore was on that ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then second half, after what's his name was because I can't remember the receiver name that was actually
KJ Osborne.
Yeah. I feel like they had to focus on him now because he was lighting them up. So they back off of Jefferson a little bit, and he was able to make plays like that touchdown in the corner against Gilmore. I couldn't really see what happened, but I just saw that he was actually open. But I think they overall did a good job running the ball in the second half. Did a good job. Kirk Cousins did a good job throwing the ball. I mean, it was an all-around team win. You can't come back from stuff like that without a good team effort. And then, a lot of things had to go your way. Matt Ryan had to be a quarterback for the other team. So, I mean, I like it. I don't think, that means, we're going to go far in the playoff. I'm realistic, I love my team, but, at the end of the day, we need to we need to be better on defense. We need better, consistent quarterback play. And I think we'll be okay because we have a great running back. We have a great receiving core. I don't know what happened to Adam Thielen. Before Justin Jefferson came there, he was the leading receiver with Diggs. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's injuries, but he's lost in the sauce right now.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, he made a lot of great points. I think the big thing is that the Vikings have a lot of home run hitters, and I'm always a fan of that, right? So you got Justin Jefferson on the outside. Dalvin Cook had 95 yards rushing, but also had 95 yards receiving on 4 receptions. So that's almost 25 yards per reception. He isn't the best running back. But his skill is when he touches the ball, he has a chance to get in the end zone every time he touches the ball. The Vikings have done a great job of surrounding Kirk Cousins. They have elite skill people. Adam Thielen, as he was saying, if he's your third or fourth option, that's a pretty solid receiving corps right there. So here isn't so much required for Kirk Cousins to be a superstar, but just get the ball to your superstars.
Yeah, a lot of that game was just a tale of two halves, really. You saw the Vikings first half was just fumble, turnover on downs, punt, and that was basically the first half. The very interesting thing about the Vikings is they're the top seeded team, but they the only team, the top team that has I believe a 2-point differential going into the game. So that basically means as much as they're scoring, they're also giving up a lot of points. So that just comes down to a lot of the defense, a lot of lapses, just making a lot of mistakes. But what on the other side of the ball, you had the Colts, and you had a first-year head coach or that just came off the couch, and he's just. I guess he I don't know what he was telling his team during the halftime, but they just did not coach them up. You gotta tell these guys this game's not over. You never know. The Vikings are very explosive when it comes to offense. You got crazy guys like Jefferson, and then you got the other guy on the other side. I forgot what's his name. Not Osborne, but the other what's his name? I'm losing his name right now. I can't remember.
Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen. He's a very short-handed guy. So you got other guys that can make plays. So I just felt like they just took the foot off the gas, and the coach really didn't coach them up to like just get that effort to keep going, and then just blew the game. It was very interesting to even see.
For sure, I think even more Matt Ryan saw that his career was about to end, and he wanted to top his L from the Super Bowl. So this was a way to go down. He knew he wasn't winning the Super Bowl, so he's like, you know what? How can I make this the most memorable situation of all time? This is going to be on Colts fans' minds for the rest of their lives.
It was terrible.
This game was a holiday treat for sure. I mean, just like you all mentioned, we saw the good, the bad, the ugly from really both sides, both teams. But yeah, I like it for the Vikings, man. Again, I have faith in Kirk Cousins a little bit, over. As opposed to other seasons, where the Vikings would have definitely lost that game. Anybody would have picked being down 33-0. He was able to rally them in the second half, man, and they just made those explosive plays, like Rich mentioned. Dalvin Cook had a 60-yard screen pass that he took 60 yards for a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, which we'll talk about, he's on pace to break the single season receiving record. And then on the other side, you got Matt Ryan again, which we all talk about, and all I've mentioned, just being on the wrong end of a terrible comeback loss again, man. It's just sad to see for him. Otherwise, other than those really two moments in his career, he's probably been known as at least a decent quarterback. But you just kind of hate to see him lose in such great epic fashion. Sometimes it's just weird to see, but. I give the credit to Kirk Cousins again and the Vikings for not giving up on that game at home. Saturday, everybody's watching. They could have easily just packed it up, but they didn't, and they able to get that comeback win. So I give the credit to the Vikings. I look for them to continue strong for the rest of the season.
For sure. Speaking of terrible losses, the Patriots have to have one of the worst losses of all time. 24-24 with seconds to go. All you gotta do is kneel the ball and take it to overtime, and it's like someone in their mind was like from Maruski.
They started throwing laterals for no apparent reason.
Bro, just go down.
I didn't even watch that game, but I saw that particular highlight, and I was just like dumbfounded. I'm like, what is going on here? This can be it's coached by Bill Belichick. Like, that made no sense.
One of the announcers was just like, yo, that was the dumbest play I've ever seen.
Even if you're lateral it, don't throw it, 20, 25 yards backwards. Like normally you lateral to a player who's a couple yards away from you or something, but I don't know what that dude was thinking. And it turned out, as we all saw, it turned out terribly for the Patriots. So
that's like, I think overall that more or less sealed Bill Belichick's he's not going to succeed without Tom Brady. Like that was like I think every player out there who might have considered, they're like, nah, no more. So
I don't think that's the case. It's been like 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
I think it's the third year. Yes, the third year.
They have a winning season, right?
Yeah, they made the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make the playoff, but at least they have a winning record. I mean, the record is about better than Tom Brady right now, right?
Yeah, by a game.
Yeah.
I'll take that. If I was Bill Belichick.
I think they definitely need more pieces, like especially wide receiver.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's something like they need like explosive weapons in offense and really good.
The issue they have right now is that like Bill Belichick is just doing some craziness. Like he took Matt Patricia, who couldn't succeed at defense, and made him an offensive coach. and then they have no offensive players right now. Like Mac Jones yesterday had 13 for 31 passes. 112 yards. Like he's just not able to succeed right now. Like he's naturally a limited quarterback as it is. He can't really run. He's not have a big arm. A lot like Kirk Cousins a bit, but the Vikings were able to skid him players on the perimeter. The Patriots are terrible right now in terms of drafting. There's no team is really going to, after they're doing all this craziness with Bill Belichick's sons are on the staff. They're just doing a whole lot of crazy. No one's going to sign up to go and really play there. So it's cold in the wintertime, so it's just a lot of negative things that are working against them.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see because I believe they definitely spent the bag to get a lot of like players in, but I don't think they're just working out as much as they thought they would.
Yeah. That play or the butt fumble by Mark Sanchez, which play y'all think is more worse or more infamous now?
That bump fumble will never live down.
I think the butt fumble has been like it's been around for so long that you can't really like live it down yet.
Right.
That play just happened.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone even seen that play yet. It gotta go down first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that play stands the test of times in terms of worst plays of all time. So that's definitely up there, but it's got to get the numbers now. Yep. In other news, on Saturday night too, we had a pretty good matchup, AFC East. The Bills and Miami up in Buffalo, Snow Bowl. The Bills end up winning on a last-second field goal over the Dolphins. Josh Allen looked great again, making spectacular plays down the field, led them on that game-winning drive as well. So what, did you guys get a chance to see any of that game?
I didn't get a chance to see the game because fortunately I was stuck at work. But I think what helps, what's his name, the quarterback? I can talk about his name now.
Tua?
The Bills quarterback.
Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen.
Yeah, what helps them is they're used to playing in that type of condition, Unlike Tua, they're up in Miami where it's warm, so that inclement weather they're not really used to it. Although they still play pretty good though,
No, they definitely have to win.
I think it's very interesting because this is like Tua's second or third bad game, or well, not bad game, but just like losing or just not succeeding really well. So I feel like a lot of people are calling it questions like, oh, like what's going on with Tua, how he's doing, I think that when it comes to the circumstances, like people kept saying the whole time, how the Dolphins going to play in this weather, how it's going to be like, and it kind of been proven because the game before that they had like heated seats or heated like some type of heaters outside of their benches, and then that was before they even came to the Bills game where it's just crazy snow. So it feels like they're not going to be able to play in bad weather or whether they're cold, like unlike Miami where it's just nice all the time. So you got to figure out what's going on with that team. Like there's a very fair weather team. They like to be in a good temperature. They don't really like, a lot of players, like when it gets cold, they don't want to get hit. They don't want to get touched. So you got to really like watch out for something like that where the weather is like what you call the deciding factor with them.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Like you said, like it's I think one of the things that's good, right? Josh Allen has arguably like the biggest arm in NFL. And with Tua, there's a lot of conversation about what's next for the team. It's arguably this is probably going to be one of their better seasons that they're going to have with him, and he is eligible for a contract extension now. So now you're looking at it, you're like the going rate for a starting quarterback. If you don't want to disrespect him and his agent, you're going to pay him $40 million. Tua is not a $40 million quarterback. So the Miami Dolphins now have a decision to make. They tried trading Tua for Tom Brady. They tried trading him for Deshaun Watson, and now they're still stuck with him right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. They've already committed big money to Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle's going to be coming up here soon for his contract. So they're going to have some interesting issues. Best case scenario, like you said, they might have this franchise tag him and go from there. But yeah, it's still better than the Patriots situation.
Yeah, it's so fun when you get snow in an NFL game. I think that just it really turns into football weather. The fans were really into it, throwing snowballs on the field and stuff like that. So that was just a fun game to watch as well, for sure. But changing it up again, the Cowboys yesterday on Sunday, they lost in epic fashion as well to the Jaguars.
Go Jags.
Yep. Cowboys led it by 17 points at one point, and they end up losing on a last-second touchdown pass from what's the quarterback's name? The Jaguars quarterback ended up Cowboys losing. And so, what do you guys think about the Cowboys losing in epic fashion once again yesterday?
Well, they lost in the overtime because Dak was making a drive down, and then he threw the pass, and then it got intercepted, and he took it all the way to the house. I think it was very nice to see. I really enjoyed it because Michael Parsons was talking so much trash about Jalen Hurts, so we wanted to see them play. Like they was so worried about the Eagles so much, but they wasn't focused on the meal right in front of them, man. They got their food taken. And that's a good thing for us because like that keeps them below us in the seeding. So really, if we just beat them one more time, then we got the number one seed wrapped up. And I just really love. I don't know. I really like seeing the Cowboys lose, man. I don't really have a lot of friends that are Cowboys fans, so I don't really care that much. But this is very good to see, man. We them boys.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are definitely overhyped because I can't think of if you look at the record, I can't think of a good team they beat. You the Washington twice, Giants twice. They beat the people who they're supposed to beat, but like they having no notable wins. So, and I'm not surprised they lost against the Jags. The Jags, the record says they're bad, but they're very well coached. What's his name? The quarterback.
Doug Peterson. Oh, you talking about the quarterback?
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence.
He's actually really good. He's coming to his own now. He's like he has an actual coach now that is coaching them. So I think they were well coached. And like DJ said, the Cowboys were looking ahead already. Like even if you didn't even play the game there, you looking at the Eagles. Like the Eagles ain't worried about you.
Yeah.
They've been ahead for like the last 2 weeks now because they struggled to get a win last week even against the Texans. So they've been really looking forward to this Eagles matchup.
I think their defense is sus. Like, Michael Parsons is good and everything. Since I think his name Van Esch. Since he's been down, like that game, their rush defense wasn't really there. So if they're gonna go as far as their defense is gonna go, that's not gonna be that far because if you give up that many points, you're not gonna do much in the playoff.
Yeah, I think it's rough because like what happens is that because you have a owner, right? Jerry Jones is always going to be very hands-on, and he's mostly looking for yes men. He had Jimmy Johnson in the 90s. He let him go. He had Bill Parcells. He let him go. Like he's looking for people who will allow him to do what he wants to do. So with that, you got the playoffs. When the playoffs time come around now, you're going to play. You'll be coaching against the best coaches, right? So you're going against the Sean McVays. You're going up against Shanahan. You're going up against in the past. You're going up against the coach from the Saints as well. And what happens is that although the Cowboys have talent, they're going into every game at a disadvantage from the coaching's perspective. So your coach is naturally going to get outcoached. He's going to get worked every single time he plays in the playoffs. So that amounts to an L. And on top of that, your quarterback is generally going to be the second best quarterback on the field as well. There's no makeup room there. So it's a whole lot of noise in Dallas, a lot of other stuff going on. So while the season's coming down and you're looking up and you're like, hey, one or two things could happen. We see where it goes from here. But they're still in the battle right now, like between the Giants still nearby. It's not unthinkable that the Cowboys can miss the playoffs, and that would be a funny situation to watch the Cowboys fan complain about that. But as long as Jerry Jones is there, there's a lot of instability that he brings, and we can look at it and say, you know what, that every single year somehow they're managed to be picked as the Super Bowl expected representative of the NFC East. But for the most part, they haven't really won anything in the last 25 years. So.
Yep, classic Cowboys being the Cowboys, man. We love to see it. But keep it rolling there, gentlemen. The Eagles, got another big win for them yesterday. It did come at a cost, though, as we now found out that Jalen Hurts sprained his right throwing shoulder. So we'll see how that injury goes. Moving forward, we have our Eagles fans here. Want to hear what you guys think about the Eagles week this week.
When I first saw the news, I thought they were just like doing those little things where you like try to get the other team to like adjust and make it seem like, oh, he's not going to play. But I guess he really did get his shoulder sprain. I think that maybe they probably sit him. Honestly, I feel like they don't really care about that MVP talk or anything like that. They just want to get into the playoffs healthy and like try to make a run. So I think that Gardner Minshew is very serviceable. I think that he can make some throws. I don't think he doesn't bring the running dynamic that Jalen Hurts has. So that's always a question mark. We definitely live and die by Hurts doing the QB sneaks, especially from the 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, or just like in general, whenever they leave the middle open, he's gone. Whenever they take the eye off him. So that's definitely a thing we'll be missing if they do start Minshew. But but some feeling, I feel like his pride might let him play. And I'm not sure what the extent of the injury is. If he can give us half of what he can, then I feel like it will be good. I think we can still beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure. It would be cool to watch him play. I think he has some things that he wants to prove. Like he's had doubters for going back to college. Tua came and took his spot at Alabama. He was drafted the 2nd round. No one really thought much of him. He's having a great year, and Michael Parsons comes out and it's like, yo, you're not really that good. Chill. You know what I mean? Like, don't think you're the real MVP, So I think in the best case scenario, it would be ideal for him to sit, be ready, maybe play the last game or something like that. Just be ready for the playoffs, for the final run. There's only about 3 games remaining right now. So before the playoffs start, I think the Eagles looking like they're going to have a bye, as long as we don't let the Vikings sneak up and take these opportunities. But as Daniel said, as he said, like it's I think Gardner Minshew is serviceable. And with the game plan that the Eagles have been able to establish, I think they can have a decent running game. They can make some opportune plays. They can get out of Dallas with the win. And from there, that'll be pretty much the NFC wrapped up. But it's with him desiring that MVP, I'm sure he wants it. That's something that I'm sure he wants to solidify himself as an up and coming player. He's hoping to get the bag coming up. So I'm sure these are all things that are on his mind. But we'll see what happens here with the Eagles. But they're my pick. But we'll see between them, the Vikings, and the San Francisco 49ers what exactly happens in the playoffs coming up.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you'll the staff there and the Eagles coaching staff will do what it takes to try and get them as healthy as they can. Whether that even be holding them back against themselves, sitting them out a couple games. But I'm actually pretty concerned about when you talk about a throwing shoulder for the quarterback. That's pretty much what they live and die on. So and it's only going to be the weather's only getting colder. He's going to have to play against some tough defenses probably if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. So any type of wrong hit, could re-aggravate that injury. And I think that could put the Eagles in a tough spot there when you got to go against a team like the 49ers, the Vikings, or even the Cowboys as well with that pass rush. So I'm definitely going to, see how it turns out for Jalen Hurts and the rest of the Eagles there. But yeah, just seeing about those, seeing how much you guys are concerned, moving forward with the injury, that type of injury that he had.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like you said, like we'll see how it goes. Like just an honorable mention that it was a lot of interesting games that ended this weekend. The Kansas City Chiefs had a come from behind win. The Cincinnati Bengals as well. I think the Chargers as well. So this was like I think at this time of the year is normally when it gets to divisional rounds. And just like college, like you can have your out of conference schedule, but once you get in the conference, whether it's the Eagles being number 1 seed playing against the Commanders, it's always a dogfight. So we'll see as the Eagles got their final games wrapped up. I'm hoping just to get one more, and like one more win pretty much locks up for the Eagles' chances at a number one seed. Even if they lose two games, I think they for the most part are still going to end up number one. So if in their best, I'd say it again, like in their best interest, it's better for him to just relax, do some rehab, and get ready for that stretch run.
I actually think they're gonna win on Sunday if they sit them like with Gardner Minshew. Because I still remember when he was playing for the Jaguars, he was pretty good. Like I remember when they got him, they was trying to figure out if he was gonna start or if it was gonna be Hurts. So I think he's a better thrower of the football than Hurts. Obviously not the runner that Hurts is, but he can still move around. I don't think they're gonna be using him that way. But like the Cowboys, they run against who's the dude from the Texans, their quarterback, and they struggle. So yeah. I think they're going in a downward slope right now, the Cowboys. So I think the Eagles with their defense and their running game, they'll still be okay.
Yeah.
It's better to let him heal up for the playoffs than to further his injury, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Facts.
Yep. To finish up, gentlemen, coming down to the end of the season, we got some tight playoff races. In the AFC right now, 11 teams still have a chance to make the playoffs. Over in the NFC, 9 teams are still eligible for the playoffs right now. So interested to see who you guys think are going to come down, to those final wild card positions, and then some of these divisional races that are still wide open right now.
I think that definitely Cowboys. I think Giants are gonna make it, and then I might say Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah. But it might be Commanders too, so who knows? I'll probably say Seahawks.
Bro, don't look now, but the Detroit Lions are on a tear. Like they are balling. Yeah, Dan Campbell got them playing mean football. I remember his opening press conference. He was like, "Yo, we're gonna break their kneecaps, and when they come up, we're gonna break their clavicles."
That was a wild speech. I was in the room like, what is this guy talking?
Hey, they like you said, they definitely been playing like it though. So they're still right in it.
Yeah, for sure. So as they're coming up, I think they got a pretty good chance. Like the Commanders are the one that I feel like are likely going to drop out. So we got 4 teams already set up: the Eagles, Vikings, San Francisco 49ers, and Dallas Cowboys. So there's 3 spots remaining. Brian Gable is probably the coach of the year, most likely. Like he's with Daniel Jones, who was everybody's looking like, his career's over. He's about to sneak them into the playoffs. But yeah, I think Seattle has a chance to make it. The Tampa Bay, most likely they're in there just because I think they win their division, they'll be able to get in. But yeah, I think it's probably Tampa, Detroit, and the Giants. I think are going to be in the last 3 teams.
Yep.
Yeah. On the other side, I think Deshaun Watson. Hopefully he'll pick it up, and the Browns will get into the playoffs, and we'll see how that one goes on that side.
That'd be wild.
They had, if he can get them in the playoffs.
Now, I want the Dolphins to get in, so I can have another chance at those Bills. In case the Bills Miami, it'll be a good one.
Yeah, the Miami going to Buffalo in January. That's a sure way to take a L. Them dudes gonna show up.
But they probably depending on where they're at. Depending on where they're at, it depends on like what team they'll play. So you never know. It could be Buffalo. It could be Chiefs. Really.
Yeah.
Because right now, Bills and Chiefs are 11-3 both each. So you don't know who's gonna get the number 1 seed right there.
Yeah, I think the interesting one, the Chargers are finally looking like they're about to make it to the playoffs, and Justin Herbert in the playoffs, that's an any given Sunday type of play. He can wake up and decide that he's the best player in football for a few weeks, and the same way how nobody thought Joe Burrow was gonna make it to the Super Bowl last year. Like There's quarterbacks that like they can get up and do some stuff when they get hot and get rolling. So
gotta go in hot.
I am definitely down to see Herbert in the playoffs. So hopefully the Chargers can pull it off.
All right.
That is all we got for you. You guys good? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I'm good.
For your in and out. All right. We appreciate y'all joining us for another episode of the Magna Carta Sports Podcast. Leave your comments on whose team do you think going to make the playoffs. And make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this episode. We appreciate it.
Peace.
All right. We'll catch y'all later.